Hi, hello. Are you a vegetarian? Okay. Now, what are we coming to? Are we coming to the good old debate or the bad old debate of veg versus non veg? Or are we coming to this debate of vegan versus veg over non veg over all those fancy terms which we get to hear nowadays about diet? Nope. We are not going into any such debate because this debate has been on for centuries and I'm sure it will continue for centuries. So let's not debate about veg being better than non-veg or vice versa. No. But then if you are a pure vegetarian, now that's another point for debate, isn't it? What does pure vegetarian means? Because I was born and brought up in a pure vegetarian family. But then I used to have milk, I used to have eggs, which I still do. When growing up, I started thinking, okay, now these milk and eggs, they come from animals, don't they? So, can we call them vegetarian? Now, during those years, these concepts and definition of vegetarian and non-vegetarian kept changing. And there were new categories, as I told you, vegan and all those things, ovo-vegetarian, lacto-vegetarian, and all those categories, subcategories being included, making the entire scene totally confusing. So let me try to keep it simple. If you are taking any food, means if your food is only plant-based, then roughly we'll call you a vegetarian. If your food contains any food, any product of animal origin, then you are a non-vegetarian. So it doesn't need to be that you eat meat, therefore you're a non-vegetarian. No. Let me keep these things very simple. So based on this concepts, being a pure vegetarian, is there a problem? Not exactly if you were to eat a well-balanced diet combined with sensible exercising, good lifestyle, etc. But that's not the case here. Yeah. Over here, we take things to extremes and then we end up with problems. Generally, vegetarians do have a slight risk of developing deficiencies of certain nutritional factors. It's a fact. We need to accept these facts. So, what are these? We get to see them as a diabetologist. I get to see a number of vegetarians who have deficiencies of certain nutritional factors. So, what are they? Let's look closely at them. The first one and the commonest one we get to see in Indians is iron deficiency anemia. This is seen predominantly in vegetarians because is iron present in plant sources? Yes, definitely. But then there is a problem with the absorption. So plant-based sources are absorbed to a lesser extent by the body and utilized to a lesser extent by the body than iron sources from animal foods, animal-based foods. Now, that could potentially cause iron deficiency anemia in Indians. In any case, we Indians consume far less iron rich stuff than our Western counterparts. And already we have a propensity to be anemic because we don't consume green leafy vegetables to the extent that we used to earlier. So, that is point number one. Point number two, protein insufficiencies and protein deficiencies occur in pure vegetarians to a much larger extent than in non-vegetarians. Now, am I trying to tell you that plants or plant foods, origins of foods of plant origins, do not have any proteins? They definitely do. We all know of the soy proteins, right? But then again, the problem lies in the quality of these proteins and how well our body utilizes these proteins. In general, foods of animal origin have proteins that are far more diverse and are much better absorbed by the body than foods of plant origin. So, pure vegetarians do have a problem with protein intake, even if they were to take big amounts of food, because the quality of the proteins in most plant-based food that we have today isn't up to the mark or isn't comparable with the foods of animal origin. So that is item number 2. So first it was iron deficiency anemia, and next protein deficiencies, next, very important, and I'm sure it's all over the media, it's the omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids by definition are present only in foods of animal sources. They are not present in any plant-based. Yes, they are present in different forms, but then the body must be able to convert them into omega-3, which doesn't happen very efficiently in a purely plant-based diet. So what are the sources of omega-3 fatty acids? All of us know, yeah, they are present in fatty fish. Yeah, yes, they are present in foods of plant sources as well. Like you have these flax seeds, but how many of us can afford to have flax seeds on a regular basis? Walnuts are also good. But then again, how many of us can afford to have walnuts on a regular basis? However, fish, which is far cheaper and which is far more used over the, especially all across the coastal regions, it's a much better source of omega-3 fatty acids. So that is item number 3. And item number 4, calcium. Now, yeah, I'm sure we'll get a few comments about this, that millets contain calcium. Many of the plant sources contain calcium. True. But again, the problem is when you combine them with other nutrition, the absorption of calcium by the body, which is essential, which is required to the levels for sustaining bone health, might not be enough in a purely plant-based diet. So calcium deficiency is a common problem that we get to see in diets which are purely vegetarian. And then along with calcium, then we need to have D3 as well. Yeah, the sunshine vitamin. Vitamin D, there are different forms of vitamin D. I'm not going into that aspect. Sun exposure definitely helps, but suffice it to say that people on a purely vegetarian diet have lesser levels of vitamin D in them. Now, if you want to lose weight, I'm sure you would have heard, oh, you better avoid everything non-vegetarian. Is it true? Wrong. It's not as if vegetarian diet will help you lose weight. A non-vegetarian diet might make you gain weight. That's absolutely wrong. However, having said that, a high fiber diet is important and is very useful and can be very effective in a number of conditions. Now, that is where the plants come. So, fiber content is more in the plants. If you can balance these two, then you have the best of both worlds. So, it's not like one is better than the other. That's not what I've been trying to tell you, because I myself grew up as a vegetarian. But then we need to be aware that yes, vegetarians do have certain issues, especially if you are a pure vegetarian. Maybe if it is okay with you, maybe you could look at things like eggs or milk. Milk, yes, I'm sure many vegetarians do take milk and milk-based products. So the problem of vitamin D deficiency, calcium deficiency, and all these things can be taken care of to a certain extent. A judicious, a smart diet is very important. Now, vegetarian, yes, fiber, I told you. Is there anything else wherein a pure vegetarian diet wins? Yes, it does. Let's face the facts. A pure vegetarian person has lower risk of developing certain cancers when compared to a non-vegetarian, which is true. It's a fact, scientifically proven fact. And they have generally, if they don't smoke and they don't consume alcohol and all that, they have a lower risk of cardiovascular disease, that is heart disease. So if you can balance these two, as I told you, you can have the best of both worlds. But this was just meant to create awareness about how a pure vegetarian diet could potentially have a lead to certain deficiencies, nutritional deficiencies. So if you like this video, which I hope you did, please do like it. Yeah. Subscribe, share, and don't forget to smash the notification bell icon. And the link to our new channel, Diabetic Care Global, is given in the description box below. Do share it with your friends, and let's all go ahead and spread awareness about diabetes and the lifestyle diseases all over the globe. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.